Welcome back to another episode of the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jenny, and today we're talking about Mamma Mia.
Yay.
This was my first time seeing this movie.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to hear what you think. To me, this is such a good way to kick off summer, which I don't think it's technically summer yet, but it's starting to feel warm out, and this movie has such good vibes.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I think summer doesn't actually start until the middle of June, but for me, I think May onwards is summer.
Me too. I think it's because we grew up in an area where schools got out in May.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if you're from the Northeast or somewhere where schools don't get out until June, then your sense of seasons is more appropriate.
Yeah. Or college students are done with all their finals by now. I think most of them are on summer break or starting their summer semesters soon. So yeah, I don't know. It just feels like summer.
Totally. Well, this movie is a very exciting one for us to cover today for a couple of reasons. The first one is that it was Mother's Day a couple days ago. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms listening. I know we have some moms listening. I hope you felt very special over the weekend.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
And I love the mother-daughter relationship in this movie. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
It's so cute. It is a really good representation of a mom and daughter relationship. And I love that Sophie and her mom are so close, but Sophie's also battling with, I want to be my own independent woman, but also I want my mom to know that I'm here to take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
And I love our life together. And she's trying to grapple with both of those things. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's so relatable. And I love that there's sort of two main relationships that we follow in the movie, Sophie and her mom, and then Sophie and Skye, the couple that are getting married, which leads us to our big announcement, Jenny.
I am engaged.
Yay!
Yay! For anyone who's been listening to the podcast for a while, you've probably heard me talk about Robert, mostly because I force him to watch these movies with me sometimes and get his opinions on them. And sometimes the opinions are not great, but sometimes they're really good. He's our ultimate test on whether this movie is safe for men or not.
He is. He's a great sport.
He is. So we got engaged in the Netherlands in this little tulip garden. And I don't think I've told anyone this, but I feel like the podcast girlies would appreciate it. We were looking through our photos after we got engaged, and we found out that we got engaged on the 6-year anniversary from when we admitted our feelings for each other.
Wow. Oh, wait, that's so cute.
I know, it wasn't planned at all, but yeah, we're super happy, super exciting times.
That's perfect. The photos are beautiful. The ring is beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you. And it was so fun to watch this movie on the airplane on the way home from getting engaged.
Gives you all the wedding vibes.
It does. And I love her wedding in this movie, speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. The aesthetic of this entire movie is summer goals.
It makes me wish that I didn't live in a landlocked state, because I'm this would be such a cute wedding theme for someone to do a Mamma Mia Grease wedding.
Absolutely. Maybe that's why we're moving next week to a different apartment complex, and our new apartment has a pool. And all week I've been I cannot wait to be by the pool and to drink wine and to hang out. And maybe it's because I watched this movie at the beginning of the week.
No, I cannot wait for that too. I'm going to be over at your place all the time.
Good.
This summer is for the girls.
That's right. What a good way to kick it off. This is just our official kickoff of summer on the pod, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so the logline for this movie is Donna, played by Meryl Streep, an independent hotelier in the Greek islands, is preparing for her daughter's wedding with the help of 2 old friends. Meanwhile, Sophie, the spirited bride, has a plan. She secretly invites 3 men from her mother's past in hopes of meeting her real father and having him escort her down the aisle on her big day.
I did not know this was the premise of the movie.
Really?
No, I feel like most people know what it's about if they haven't seen the movie. I had no idea. I actually didn't even know it was a movie based on ABBA songs.
Okay, so what are the highlights of your thoughts?
The aesthetics of this movie are amazing. It's so coastal and fun. I loved the music, of course. I loved Amanda Seyfried's mermaid hair in this whole movie. And the dads are just so cute.
I know.
I love them. I love them so much. So I get the hype, for sure.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. I think I liked it more in my head.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, tell me, when was the first time that you've seen this movie?
I don't know. I saw it probably closer to when it first came out. I've watched it a bunch of times. but I haven't seen it in a long time. Like I probably haven't watched it in almost 10 years, like since college or maybe since early college. And I was so excited to rewatch it. And I agree with you. I love the vibes. I love the aesthetic. I love everything about Meryl Streep and Amanda Seyfried in the movie.
Everything.
Stunning, perfect. And I love the dads. And I love that they refer to themselves as her dads, or she refers to them as her dads, I should say. It's very cute. But like the music was taking me out of it this time I watched it for some reason. Like there was not enough other like plot and dialogue in my opinion. And so I'm going to do this again where I'm going to pitch for everybody to watch the second one. Because I swear the story is deeper in the second one. It's a prequel about Meryl Streep's like summer when she meets these guys. And
oh my gosh.
Young Meryl Streep is played by Lily James.
Okay, love her.
And it's so good. So it doesn't feel as much like a sequel because it's a prequel. I think they flash forward to them being older also, but for the most part, it's a prequel. And having the context of the first movie to then go back and like see her meet all these guys is really interesting. And you get the backstory of the relationships, especially Donna and Sam's relationship, which we'll talk about. So yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because I did think a lot of times I watched this movie twice. I watched it once on the airplane and then I watched it again just in preparation for us to record this because it's been a couple weeks since I saw it. And I was able to like get up and do stuff while the songs were playing. But they were great. But I do think because we have to outline and recap a movie when it's a musical, you realize there's not as much plot as you thought because you're like, oh, this is all singing.
Maybe that's why this time felt different because I'm like writing down what's happening. I'm like, wow, we just sang and then somebody else started singing and then we had a little convo and someone else went off. So
it did make the recap a little tricky, I will say.
Okay, so this movie came out in 2008. And like you mentioned, it is a musical based on ABBA songs. It has such good songs, like the best karaoke songs in this movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Do you have a favorite ABBA song?
Oh, Dancing Queen.
Same. Although I had this realization that as a kid, I got the lyrics wrong. And I don't know if I've ever known the correct lyrics of that song because I always viewed the song as a really sad one.
Dancing Queen?
Yes, because I thought the lyrics were, you can dance, you can die having the time of your life.
Oh no, like a warning.
And then I told that to Robert. I was like, I always thought those were the lyrics. And he goes, yeah, that's so funny because it's you can dance, you can fly, having the time of your life. And I was like, no, we're both wrong. It's jive.
Yeah.
And I realized, oh, when we were kids and we were hearing this song, we didn't know what the heck jive meant. Like that wasn't in our vocabulary. So it makes sense that we just made up some other word that sounded right.
You just plug in other things. I think I, for the longest time, thought it was shine.
Oh, that's really cute, actually.
Not die. That's tragic.
Oh, man.
So this I didn't know, but it makes sense. This was actually a musical before it was ever a movie. I don't know why I just assumed that they made it into a movie directly, but no, it was a stage musical. And it premiered in London's West End in 1999 before going to Broadway in 2001.
Wow. Okay, so it was on Broadway 7 years before this movie came out.
And that musical, I found out, is also based on a book by Katherine Johnson. There are two people from ABBA that wrote the music and lyrics for the musical that I guess must have used the book as like inspiration for the story and plugged the songs in throughout.
Okay, interesting.
And those two people from ABBA are named Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus. I might be totally butchering how you say that, but I think it's cool that two of the members from the band are actually the ones that wrote this musical because I just always had in my head that someone must have just been a super fan, like diehard fan of ABBA, and then took their songs and somehow got the rights to them and made them into this musical. But no, it was actually the band.
Oh, that's really cool. Benny and Bjorn also cameo in this movie, which I thought was really cute.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember the exact... Okay, I think Benny is the piano player at one part in the movie, and then Bjorn, and I could totally be mixing them up, but he is one of the Greek gods at the end of the movie in the credits.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, thought that was cute.
I also read that there's this long-standing rumor, apparently, that the whole cast was drunk while they were filming this movie.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that, especially Meryl Streep at the end of the movie in the credits.
I know.
Like, she was drunk.
I think someone asked Christine Baranski about it, who plays one of Meryl Streep's best friends in the movie. And she said, no, we were not drunk the whole time, but we were very hungover at least one day that they were filming because they were drinking this like specific Greek spirit, like liquor, that it has a really high alcohol content, which I thought was amazing.
That's actually kind of cute that everyone was just having a good time together and partying and actually kind of celebrating in the way that they would have been in the movie anyway, you know? It's cute.
Okay, should we talk about the cast?
Yeah, let's talk about Meryl Streep, the Meryl Streep.
The Meryl Streep.
Who plays Donna.
Have we talked about her before?
I think we briefly talked about her in our Father of the Bride episode, but only because of Martin Short.
Okay. What is your favorite Meryl Streep movie?
The Devil Wears Prada.
Love. That's a good one.
How about you?
I think it's complicated.
I've never seen that one.
It's a really cute rom-com that stars Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin, and they're divorced, and Steve Martin is also in it. It's like a love triangle. It's cute. I love it.
Oh, I have to see that. Maybe both of those should be on our list because I cannot believe this is our first Meryl Streep movie.
I know. I read that her birth name is actually Mary Louise Streep.
Oh, Mary L. Meryl.
I know.
Huh.
I wonder if that's or if that maybe used to be a common nickname. If your name was Mary Louise, you would go by Meryl. Because I know a couple Meryls, and I believe that their name is actually Meryl.
Huh.
But maybe it's not.
I don't know. Maybe they're Mary Louises. Huh.
Yeah. Something else crazy, speaking of Devil Wears Prada, I didn't realize Mamma Mia came out 2 years after Devil Wears Prada. So they were very close together, which messes with my brain for some reason.
I think for me too, because her character in The Devil Wears Prada, she's got that short haircut and she looks so elegant. And then in this movie, she looks younger to me. And I think it's just because she's more of a free-spirited character.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't believe Mamma Mia was actually after The Devil Wears Prada. And they're just two completely different characters.
Totally.
I love that.
And I love her backstory. So she went to Vassar for undergrad, and that is where she really got into theater. I don't think she was doing a lot of theater before college.
Oh, I thought she was just like out the womb doing theater.
That's what you would think, right? And then she went on to get her MFA from Yale.
Wow.
So very cool. And then for her personal life, she was married to a sculptor named Don Gummer for a long time, and they had 4 kids, Henry, Mamie, Grace, and Louisa. And I believe a few of them are actors, and you guys have probably seen them in various red carpet pictures. Specifically, I think her daughter Mamie, I think she's the daughter that I've seen a few times. They look very, very similar.
Okay, I think I've seen her before.
And then I also read that for the most part, her family has lived in Connecticut for her whole career. They moved to LA for a few years and then back to Connecticut. So I think for the most part, she has just kind of stayed out of the Hollywood social life, which is interesting that she's so extremely successful, which I'm guessing she probably contributes to not being in that scene, but also I'm sure it was harder in the beginning.
Yeah. I love it when a celebrity doesn't live in LA or New York. I'm not saying they live a more humble life if they live in any other state, because I doubt that's true. I'm sure she has like this huge mansion and like a ton of privacy wherever she would live, but I like that. Connecticut. Cool.
Mm-hmm. It does feel that way though, for some reason. Like hearing that Paul Rudd lives in a small town in New York, you're just like, cute. Even though I'm sure it's like even more luxe there because their money goes further.
Yeah.
So we talked about this in our Booksmart episode, I believe, but Meryl Streep was very good friends with Carrie Fisher, aka Princess Leia, and she is actually Billie Lourd's godmother.
That's crazy to me. Can you imagine Meryl Streep being your godmother? I remember us talking about this in our Booksmart episode now because I think I said the same thing.
Shocking. It's shocking. It's giving Dolly Parton being Miley Cyrus's godmother. Where you're like, I just would not connect these two celebrities, but they are so deeply personally connected.
I love that.
And then we talked about this in our Father of the Bride episode, but there's a lot of speculation happening right now that she is dating Martin Short.
Although they've denied it, which I hate. I want it to be real so bad.
I want it to be true.
Maybe they're just really good friends, but I ship it.
Me too.
She actually was a fan of Mamma Mia before she was ever involved with this film. She attended Mamma Mia on Broadway in 2001, and then she wrote a letter thanking the cast and crew for the show, and the cast made copies and distributed the letter to each other. Because of course, if Meryl Streep thanked you for your show, you would be like, oh my gosh, guys, look at this.
The biggest deal ever.
And then years later, she was invited to join the film version.
Oh, I love that. And I love that that was so far before this project.
Also, what does it say about her that she wrote a letter thanking them for the show and how good it was. That just shows me her character.
Okay, should we talk about Amanda Seyfried?
Yes, she plays Sophie. We've talked about her in a ton of episodes, I feel like.
She's the early 2000s girly. One of them. So she grew up in Pennsylvania, and you guys know, I love when a celebrity's parents are normal people. Her parents are an occupational therapist and a pharmacist, which we love.
That's cool.
And she is married to Thomas Sadowski. I believe that's how you say his name. He is from The Newsroom. You will probably recognize him. If you don't recognize his name, just look him up. And they have 2 kids named Nina and Thomas.
I didn't know she was a mom. Oh, cute.
I think we talked about this with Shannon when she came on for our Jennifer's Body episode, that Amanda Seyfried lives on a farm somewhere.
Oh, this sounds familiar. Yeah. Cool. If I was famous, I would also live on a farm.
Yeah, but I didn't have the option to just live in the middle of a big city and walk around everywhere because I didn't want to be seen by people. I would also just isolate.
Yeah.
So unlike Meryl, Amanda did grow up doing theater. So she did high school theater. She also was a model, and she took singing lessons growing up. And I read she had a few roles in soaps, but then was accepted to Fordham University, which she ended up deferring because she got her role in Mean Girls.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, this is crazy. Did you know that Gwyneth Paltrow is her distant cousin?
Does that make her an Epo baby?
Yeah, I'm like, her parents, totally normal, but related to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Is she like the, second cousin twice removed or whatever?
It must be something like that because all I could find was distant cousin in a few places. I would like someone to fact check this.
Aren't we all distant cousins? If you really think about it. That's funny though.
Yeah, no, I loved that. So there are a few other early 2000s it girls that were considered for the role of Sophie, including Amanda Bynes.
Ooh.
Which I actually think I could totally see, although I've never heard her sing.
Oh, Hairspray. She was in Hairspray.
Oh, she was. Oh, you're right. I guess that makes sense. All these people can sing.
I would have loved that. Okay.
Emmy Rossum, Mandy Moore, and Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams was considered for everything, I feel like. Mandy Moore would have been good too.
Mandy Moore would have been very good. It's really giving Rapunzel.
I totally forgot that she was Rapunzel in Tangled, right?
Yep.
Oh, and when she does her little singing on the beach in Princess Diaries, that's what I'm thinking of.
I feel like their voices come across very similarly, so I could definitely see Mandy Moore.
But for Meryl Streep's daughter, Amanda Seyfried was perfect.
Absolutely.
And Amanda Seyfried says this is the movie that changed her life, which I thought was kind of funny because Mean Girls was before this, 4 years before this movie. But I think it's just because this movie was her first huge lead role and she was alongside Meryl Streep. So I think it was just a bigger deal. But I thought that was cool. And then we have Pierce Brosnan, who plays Sam.
And Sam is one of the dads. And they allude to this throughout the movie, but Sam is the one that had the deeper relationship with Meryl Streep when they were younger. I don't even feel like he necessarily has a bigger role really until the end of the movie, but he is one of the dads. He's an Irish actor and producer, and he was originally trained as an artist, a visual artist, a painter, I believe.
Wow.
But then he studied acting in London before he obviously went on to go do movies. So this was his second artistic venture.
Cool.
And he was also the 5th James Bond. So he starred in 4 different James Bond movies from 1995 to 2002.
Okay, that's what I know him from. I was like, he looks very familiar, but I couldn't pick out anything that I had seen him in.
And I also read that he apparently agreed to do this movie instantly because Meryl Streep was attached to it, but he didn't know that it was a musical. And then I think he ended up going to see the musical and was just like, oh, wow. That's going to be me.
That's really cute. Also, same. If Meryl Streep was in any movie, you say yes.
Absolutely.
But to find out it's a musical, it kind of makes me laugh. It makes me think of In the Holiday, Jack Black wanting to do that role because Kate Winslet was going to be in it. But he was like, I don't know about me being a rom-com love interest.
Totally.
And then we have Colin Firth, who plays Harry, who I feel like we've talked about a lot.
He's the dad in What a Girl Wants. Love. So Colin is an English actor and producer, and his breakthrough role was in dun dun dun, the Pride and Prejudice miniseries.
Yay. Something that our moms really want us to do an episode on.
Yes, they really want us to do a Pride and Prejudice episode. If you love Pride and Prejudice too, and you want us to do that episode, please send us a message.
And let us know if you want us to do the miniseries with Colin Firth or the Keira Knightley movie. Or both.
And you guys obviously know Colin. He was in The Importance of Being Earnest, Bridget Jones's Diary, The King's Speech, Kingsman, The Staircase, What a Girl Wants. There's a million more. You guys know him.
He's so good.
Yet again, another star of this movie who has normal parents. Both of his parents were lecturers at colleges, and yet him and both of his younger siblings are also actors.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A talented family.
I know. His younger siblings are named Kate and Jonathan. Kate is mostly a voice actor, but he was in all the Prince and Me movies.
Okay. Interesting.
I didn't recognize either of them, but if you guys have seen the Prince and Me movies, you probably would recognize Jonathan. He also has a son, which I didn't know, and he had this son with his co-star from Valmont. Her name is Meg Tilly, and his son's name is William, and he is also an actor now, and he had a small part in Bridget Jones's Diary with his dad. I think he was like dreadlocks guy or something. Maybe I'm making that up. I think he was some really small character.
That's funny. I love that.
We probably talked about this in the What a Girl Wants episode, but he was married for a long time to an Italian activist named Livia Gugioli Firth. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Sorry, guys. And they have 2 sons together, Luca and Matteo. So he actually has 3 boys altogether. And then Colin and Livia, the whole time they were married, I read split their time between London and Umbria in Italy, which I love.
Oh, wow.
And they were together from 1997 to 2019.
Oh my gosh, that was a long time. And they broke up pretty recently. It was only like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I love him in this movie. He is probably one of my favorite characters in this movie. He's so cute. I love him.
I know, me too.
All right. And then we have Stellan Skarsgård, who plays the third dad, Bill.
And Stellan is Swedish. So again, we just have they're from all over.
He's from a bunch of things. Notably, he's the scary Baron guy in Dune. And he's Orlando Bloom's dad, Bootstrap Bill, in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my gosh, wait. That's definitely where I've seen him, in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was watching it. I was like, man, he looks so familiar. And then it all clicked. And I was like, oh, he's in Davy Jones' locker.
I love that. So he has 6 kids, including a few very famous ones that you guys will definitely know. Alexander Skarsgård and Bill Skarsgård are both his kids. So Alexander, you'll know from Big Little Lies. He was Nicole Kidman's husband. He was also recently in The Northman. He's been in Succession and True Blood. And then his son, Bill Skarsgård, is It. He is like the terrifying clown in It, the Stephen King adaptation movie. And he does a bunch of other horror movies.
Yeah, he was also the lead in this creepy show, kind of a werewolfy show called Hemlock Grove. Every time I think of Bill Skarsgård, I think of our like first viral TikTok. Because somebody in the comments was like, you look like Bill Skarsgård. And I was like, I look like It the Clown.
I forgot about that.
And they're not wrong. I do kind of look like him. If you guys don't know what I look like, check out our TikTok. I'm the redhead.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that. It's just the eyes. It's only the eyes.
It's the coloring. It's like the hair and the eyes. And
You're
I
like,
get
it's
it.
everything.
I'm It the Clown, guys. So Stellan Skarsgård and Amanda Seyfried did another movie together called Boogie Woogie right after this. And here's the craziest bit. He played her boyfriend.
No. Nope.
So he went from playing her dad in this movie to playing her boyfriend.
None of that. No, thank you. Hate it.
For sure.
Okay, now we get to the important ladies, other than Meryl and Amanda. We have Christine Baranski, who plays Tanya, one of Meryl Streep's best friends. And these 3 girls, Meryl, Christine, and then Julie Walters, who plays Meryl Streep's other best friend, Rosie, in the second movie are like the stars. The 3 of them are like together the whole time. And it's so cute to see them like be Donna and the Dynamos, but like in their 20s.
I can't wait. I love them in this movie. The 3 of them are goals. They're adorable. I love them.
Me too. So Christine started as an off-Broadway and then Broadway stage actor before she ever transitioned to TV and movies. And she actually has 2 Tonys and was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame in 2018.
Oh, wow.
And you guys will know her from a bunch of stuff. If you don't recognize her name, definitely look her up. She was in The Good Wife, The Big Bang Theory, my favorite, Eloise at the Plaza. She's Prunella, the like stuck-up hotel manager. She's also in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version, as Martha May. And she's in a ton more things. You guys will know her.
She's iconic as Martha May. On the airplane, I paused the screen as soon as she came up, and I looked at Robert, and I was like, look, it's Martha May Whovier. I love her.
I know, me too.
And then we have Julie Walters, who plays Rosie.
And she is an English actress and has also won a bunch of awards. She's been in Sister My Sister, Educating Rita, Becoming Jane, Paddington, which, side note, Paddington and Paddington 2, possibly the best movies I've ever seen.
Everybody always says that. I've never seen them, and I believe you. I believe everybody who says that. I just haven't made time to watch them.
I had also never seen them, but I had heard everybody say that. And then Brian and I went to London in January, and right when we came back, we watched them both, and both of us were like, yes, best animated movie by far I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that makes me happy. I'm going to watch that soon.
She's also in Mary Poppins Returns, and most iconically, she is Mrs. Weasley in all the Harry Potter movies.
I had no idea.
Really?
I had no idea. And when I was reading the outline, I saw that and I had to look her up immediately. I was like, Molly Weasley. And then I was like pulling them up side by side because she looks so different in this movie and she acts so different. I still don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in this movie, she's like a spicy firecracker, which Mrs. Weasley sort of is, but this is in a less like motherly way. And she has short brown pixie cut, whereas Molly Weasley obviously has her like shoulder length red hair.
I'm shook. I'm like, Molly Weasley would never.
I know. I know.
It just goes to show what a great actress she is.
Mm-hmm.
Should we get into the movie?
Let's do it. So the movie opens with a woman named Sophie, played by Amanda Seyfried, rowing this small boat up to shore at night. She's singing I Have a Dream, one of the more iconic ABBA songs you guys will know. And then when she gets to town, she mails 3 letters to people named Sam, Harry, and Bill. And then we, as the audience, see each of the men in their day-to-day lives, which are all very different. We see Sam, played by Pierce Brosnan, who is an architect. Harry, played by Colin Firth, who works in finance. And then Bill, Stellan Skarsgård, is a sailor.
I love all 3 of them so much.
Me too.
And then we cut to Sophie, and she's squealing and running down a dock to meet her 2 best friends from college. And we find out that Sophie's getting married tomorrow, and she tells them her big secret. She invited her dad to her wedding. And they're like, oh, you know who your dad is? And she explains that her mom always told her that she had a summer fling, and that's when she got pregnant. But Sophie found her mom's diary from that summer. And in the diary, her mom actually talks about 3 different men that she had flings with that summer. It was Sam, Harry, and Bill. And I love this part. She's reading the diary to her friends, and she's like, we danced on the beach, and we kissed on the beach, and ... And then she goes, ... That's what they did in the olden days. And so then the girls start singing Honey, Honey while reading the diary. And we find out that Sophie invited all 3 of her mom's summer flings since she doesn't know which one is her dad. And she sent the invites as her mom so that they would say yes.
Now, as someone that has planned a wedding, or just, a normal, rational human being, I cannot imagine the self-sabotage of this. Like, the idea that on this, like, very stressful, very important, big deal day, you're going to have random dudes that you don't know showing up, thinking that they were invited by your mom, and then being surprised that they have a 20-year-old daughter. No.
It could have gone very badly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could be the weirdest human beings now. She put a lot of faith in them being good people.
Absolutely.
But she wasn't stressed about her wedding at all. At least that's the vibe that I got this whole movie, is she was like very nonchalant about the whole thing. And it was more of an excuse to meet these 3 men than it was to celebrate her love, which we'll talk more about later.
Mm-hmm. So then we see Donna come out to say hi to Sophie's friends, and she says, you sound like you're having fun already. I used to have fun. And then one of Sophie's friends says, oh, we know. And then back on the mainland, we see Sam and Harry both miss the ferry that goes out to the island. And they end up meeting each other because they're both trying to go to the same place, and mention that they're going to the wedding. And then Bill pulls up in his boat and offers to give them a ride to the island. Very convenient.
Mm-hmm. And then Sophie's best friends try on their bridesmaid dresses. And Sky, Sophie's fiance, played by Dominic Cooper, comes in. And we find out that Sophie hasn't told Sky that she invited her dads. And Sophie wants her dad to walk her down the aisle. She thinks that she will know who her dad is when she meets him, which I just think is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That's putting a lot of faith in like your intuition.
She's like, I'll just catch a vibe. I'll know.
So this is crazy. So this is the first time where we meet Sky. And something interesting that I read is that Amanda and Dominic, who plays Sky, dated for 3 years after filming this movie.
Oh my gosh, that's really cute.
Yeah, I had no idea.
They had a lot of chemistry in this movie, so I see it.
Mm-hmm. Then we see Donna run down to the dock to see her friends, Tanya and Rosie, and the three of them call themselves Donna and the Dynamos, which I love. I think it's so cute. And we find out that Rosie has a best-selling cookbook, and Tanya is a little bit boy crazy, and she is on the hunt for her fourth husband.
I love them. I think the first thing I thought was just like, when I grow up, I want friendships like this. Like, I want to maintain my friendships and have what they have because it's so adorable.
I know.
Highlight of the movie, I think.
Me too. I love it.
And then on the boat, Bill, Harry, and Sam all say that they haven't heard from Donna in 20 years, so they were surprised to be invited to her daughter's wedding. Which I'm like, hello, guys.
No one is putting this together yet.
No.
So then as Donna is hanging out with Tanya and Rosie, she talks about how she hasn't had a day off in 15 years and she wishes there were more guests at the hotel. She also says that everything is always broken. I think she says, nothing works around here except for me. And you can tell she's just having a really hard time with being by herself, running the hotel, feeling like she might be losing her daughter, and that it's all going to be on her to maintain. And all three ladies sing Money, Money, Money. And at the end of the song, this small earthquake creates a crack in the center of the hotel's courtyard. And there's something important about this courtyard because supposedly the hotel is built on top of Aphrodite's fountain of love, which we find out promises pure love. And this will come back later.
I love that. And then Sophie walks out of the hotel and she finds Sam, Harry, and Bill all standing there. And she's so surprised to see them all. And then she ends up sneaking them through the underground part of the hotel to their rooms so Donna doesn't see them. And by rooms, we don't actually mean rooms. She sneaks them into the upstairs of an old goat house next to the hotel. And she tells them the truth, that her mom has no idea they're there. And she lies and says that she did it to surprise her mom. She was like, oh, she speaks so highly of you all that I really wanted to surprise her and make this day special for her by inviting you all.
By inviting all of her ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, I was like, that's a great surprise, Sophie. And Sam and Harry both want to leave because they don't want to upset Donna. But then Bill says it's an adventure and they should stay. And so as they're talking, they all hear Donna singing downstairs. And Sophie makes them promise that they won't tell anyone that she invited them.
And then Donna from downstairs lifts the hatch to get into the upstairs of the goat house. And through this crack, she sees the three men and she freaks out, obviously. She leaves the goat house and she starts singing Mamma Mia, the title song. And as she's singing, she climbs up to the roof of the goat house and she peeks in through a window to just like make sure that it's them and they're actually there. And we get the feeling that she's equally excited and freaked out and upset that they're there. Because I'm sure she was curious and you can tell it's not all like anger, but she's definitely is taken aback.
Mm-hmm. And then she falls through the roof into the room with all the guys. Of course this would happen.
Of course.
And she says, I better be dreaming. You better not all be here. And Bill says, you want me to pinch you, Donna? And everyone giggles, even her. And then the guys all make up reasons that they're on the island that aren't the wedding. So Bill says, I'm writing a travel piece. And Harry says, I'm here on a spontaneous holiday. And Sam says, I just dropped in to say hi. And she tells them she's fully booked and they can't stay. And again, we saw her laughing when she fell in and when they were like, you want us to pinch you. But then she's also kind of angry and upset that they're there. She's battling some different emotions here. And so all three men say, it's good to see you at the same time as she leaves.
It's just ridiculous.
It is.
So then Donna sees her friends at the bar and I think everything just hits her and she runs away from them towards the hotel crying. And they run after her and they sing Chiquitita, which I think is one of the sweeter songs. And they're trying to get her to tell them what's wrong. And finally she lets them in and they like wipe her tears and they help her feel better. And then finally she tells them that she's upset because she doesn't know who Sophie's father is. That's the emotion that's coming up. And she didn't think she'd ever have to tell anyone, but all three of them showed up in her old goat house. And so obviously Tanya and Rosie run right to the goat house to see these guys. And they end up not finding the guys there. And this whole conversation just kind of spurs the girls into reminiscing. And they sing Dancing Queen like they used to. As they're singing, they end up leaving the hotel and like pulling people from the town and the entire island into this big dance number to Dancing Queen. It's really cool.
It is cool. I love that part. And then Sophie sees her dad sailing away, and she swims out to their boat to convince them to still come to the wedding. She's like, no, you can't leave. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we're not leaving. We're just sailing around the island. And they ask if she wants to come. And then Harry borrowed her mom's guitar, which he actually bought her back in the day. And Harry and the guys sing Our Last Summer as they sail, and they're reminiscing on when they were with Donna. And Sophie sees a photo of Harry and Donna, and she wonders if he's her dad.
And then Sky calls for Sophie from the shore, and she jumps off the boat and swims to the shore to meet him and apologizes for not being there while the guests have been arriving. And they go for this little walk on the beach, and Sky says he can't wait for their adventure to start tomorrow, and they sing Lay All Your Love on Me. It's very cute.
I really like their relationship in this movie, and I hate that Sophie is just so distracted by her dad's that she just doesn't care about the wedding at all, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, to be fair, I don't think Sky cares too much about the wedding itself either. He cares about being married to her, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, not one that you normally see in these types of rom-coms at all.
I actually thought coming into the movie that it would be more of a rom-com, like it would be more about their relationship and her getting married than it was. I think it was really more of a mother-daughter movie.
Definitely.
That night at Sophie's bachelorette party, Donna and the Dynamos do a surprise performance of Super Trooper. And during the performance, Donna sees the guys in the corner of the bar, or it's like more of a courtyard, I guess. But she finishes the performance looking at Sophie. And it's just really cute, the moment between them. And then at the end of the song, Rosie tells the guys they have to go because it's a hen party. And so she kicks them out.
No boys allowed. When Donna, Rosie, and Tanya leave the party, Donna tells them that she's furious that the guys are there and they might ruin Sophie's wedding. She says, I won't be muscled out by an ejaculation.
I love that line.
I know. Sophie leaves the party to talk to Sam. You can tell she's kind of on a mission to like get to know each of these guys because it didn't hit her immediately who's her dad. So she's like trying to get clues. And so when she's talking to Sam, he says that she's a great artist because he found a portrait that she did of him on the boat earlier. And he asks why she doesn't want to pursue art. And she says that she has her hands too full running the villa with her mom. And when he asks why he was really invited, she runs away without answering because she hears her mom open the window above and she doesn't want to get caught. You can tell Sam of the group is like starting to put this together in a way that the others are not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, and I would say that Sam the whole time is like making eyes with her mom more, and like you can sense that there's something stronger between him and her mom. Back at the party, Sophie talks to Harry at the bar and asks if he has any children, and he says he would have loved a daughter and asks if her father is here. And she says, I don't know who my father is. And then her friends pull her onto the dance floor. So then Harry's like, wait a second, that's interesting.
So then on the dance floor, she talks to Bill, and she tells Bill that her mother Donna got the money for the hotel from an old lady that she looked after named Sophia. And Bill had mentioned earlier that he has a great aunt Sophia that lives on the island. And Sophie is like, I guess it was her. Bill asks how old Sophie is. And when Sophie says 20, he walks out of the
party. He's like, bye, I know what this is about.
Yeah. So she follows him and asks if he's her father. And he says, yes, I think so. To which I am just like, no. Nobody should be. First of all, she's asking him like he would know, which I guess what she's really asking is like, maybe her mom got pregnant and told one of the guys and he left, I guess. Otherwise, I don't know how they would just intuitively know either.
I don't think they know that the other two guys, like, I don't think they know that the timing lined up that they all three could be the dad. That was my guess. So I think he's just thinking, 20 years ago I hooked up with your mom. Yeah, like I think I am your father.
Okay.
That's how I interpreted it, but
I'm sure that's right.
Of all of them, Bill would be the one who might have known, I feel like, and might have run away.
Yeah.
Because he's the most hesitant, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's an interesting take.
So then Sophie asks Bill if he'll give her away at the wedding tomorrow, and he says yes, and they hug.
It's a cute moment. It's sweet. This scene was actually shot during the day in the sunlight, even though it's been edited to look like it's nighttime. And Amanda said that it was the worst for someone with light eyes because she was trying not to squint in the sun the whole time. And you can't unsee that in this scene after knowing it. Like when you rewatch the scene, it's like, oh yeah, she is squinting.
Oh, I need to go watch it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I read they did the same thing actually with the boat scene in the very beginning where she's like rowing the boat in what looks like the middle of the night. Apparently it was the middle of the day.
I wonder if all the night scenes were actually daylight. I would imagine, yeah. It's probably
Interesting.
easier.
Also, you have light eyes. Is this true or false? Are your eyes extra sensitive to the sun? Because I hear this bullshit from Brian like every other week about his sensitive eyes. And I need a third party.
My eyes are very sensitive to sunlight,
Okay.
but I always thought that was normal. But I will say Robert has darker eyes than I do. And when we go outside, I'm the one who's like complaining. Or like if someone's taking a picture and I'm in direct light, I am always the one who's on the struggle bus, like trying to keep my eyes open. So I think it is true.
Okay. I am sorry for saying it's bullshit. I believe you.
Brian's going to be like, yeah,
I know.
I told you so. Amanda Seyfried also said that because of this sweet moment in the movie, she really hopes Bill is the real father.
Wow. Interesting take.
What do you think? The second movie doesn't reveal it, right?
No, not that I remember. No, I think they just continue operating. No, it definitely doesn't. They operate under the assumption that there's 3.
Okay.
They all get a 3rd.
Okay. I love that.
I don't think it reveals it.
Do you have a premonition on who you think the father would be?
I want it to be Sam.
Okay.
But also I kind of love Harry's like adoption of her.
He's so cute.
Like how he's like, I always wanted a daughter. And then at the end, he makes a couple of really cute comments. So I don't know. But in my head, it's always Sam.
You're like, everyone but Bill.
Anyone else?
That's funny.
So then Sky's bachelor party crashes the end of Sophie's bachelorette party, and it becomes one big dance floor. It looks really fun. And then suddenly Sam comes in and grabs Sophie, and he says he knows why he's here. He asks, how long have you known that I'm your father? And she says, not long. And then he asks who's giving her away tomorrow, and she says, nobody. To which I'm like, hang on, you just gave this role to Bill. And he says, wrong, I am, which is very cute.
Do you think she thinks he knows something she doesn't? Or do you think in that moment she's just confused and she's like, oh, wait, like maybe you are my dad, not Bill?
I think both. I think that she thinks that whoever her dad would be, he would know because of, like, Donna probably would have told him originally. And so when they're coming to her, I think she's just like, oh my gosh, you must be right. And then I do just think she's confused that 2 people back to back are telling her that they're her dad.
That's so funny. Then Harry finds her on the dance floor and says he knows why she invited him.
Here we go.
It's chaos, ultimate chaos. He says that he knows he's her father, and because he's her father, he's going to walk her down the aisle. So now she's got 3 dads saying they're committed to walking her down the aisle. The whole time this is happening, everyone is dancing and singing to Voulez-Vous, and Sophie passes out because she's overwhelmed. And Amanda says that the Voulez-Vous song in this scene is traumatic because they spent so long learning the choreography, and it's a very frantic scene with too many people and too many things going on. So people were very easily like stepping on each other's toes, and they were having to refilm stuff and just do it over and over and over again. And she says it's the one ABBA song she never wants to hear again.
I don't blame her.
I don't either. It's a chaotic scene, but it's so good.
It is so good. It's like you really feel the chaos because it's the entire bachelor and bachelorette party. And so there's so many people around just like dancing and singing. And I think they're like all dancing in circles, like in like multiple rings. And so it feels like you're spinning.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, both Donna and Sophie separately tell their friends that they've been tossing and turning all night and they couldn't sleep because of the 3 guys, just obviously for different reasons.
And then on Bill's boat, Harry tells him he needs to get something off his chest, and Bill says he does too. And Harry says that last night he discovered something wonderful about himself that he never suspected because it's always been a secret. And Bill is like, you didn't know? And so Bill is under the impression that Harry just discovered his sexuality.
I love this part.
I do too. I love the miscommunication. It's so funny. And then Bill talks about not knowing if he can take on the little girl in his life. And Harry goes, you don't have to marry her. Because he's thinking that Bill is talking about Rosie.
Because there's this ongoing flirtation between Bill and Rosie.
Yes. and she is a little woman. And so it's just like this big miscommunication all around, and Rosie actually overhears this part.
And so then back at the hotel, Donna grabs Sophie and asks her what's wrong. She can tell that Sophie's upset about something. And Donna offers to call off the wedding, but Sophie is confused because that's not why she's upset. We've also, up until now, seen Donna make a few comments about how Sophie's really young and she's like maybe trying to get married to like spite her mom because her mom never got married, or like because she's trying to be different, which we know after seeing Sophie and Sky that that's not the case. But her mom, when seeing Sophie upset, immediately jumps to that conclusion. So she offers to call the wedding off. And so Sophie is upset that her mom thinks that she doesn't want to marry Sky. And she says that she doesn't want her kids to grow up without knowing who their father is because it's crap.
I love that line too. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Sam finds Donna, who's clearly still upset from talking to Sophie, and we find out that this was actually their dream together, to run a hotel on the island. And they have a conversation about whether Sophie really wants to get married because she's so young. And Sam says he thinks Sophie's doing it because Donna won't let go of her, and Sophie doesn't want to leave her. And Donna says she knows how to let go. She says she's doing great and loves being single, but we can tell she doesn't really mean it. And as she walks away, Sam sings SOS.
Then we see Harry on a paddle boat with Tanya, which I think is because Donna charged the girls with keeping the guys busy all day. So they're on a paddle boat, and Harry asks her, what would the father of a bride normally do? And Tanya says, pay.
I love her. Martha May Hubier, go off.
I know. So then Harry immediately stands up on the paddle boat and dives into the water and swims to shore. And we see this young guy swim up to Tanya's boat, and he says that they should pick up where they left off last night. And Tanya sings, does your mother know? And then there's this big dance number with all the guys on the beach and Tanya. Just incredible.
Harry walks up to Donna, and he's still in his big orange life jacket, and he's dripping wet. And he hands Donna a check to help cover the cost of the wedding. And Donna says she can't accept this. But Harry runs away, and he says, no, you'll have to catch me first. And he just runs away in his little life jacket, and it's so cute and funny. He's the cutest character by far. He is. I love Colin Firth in this kind of silly role.
I know, he's very endearing. Him being like endearing dad, kind of like he is in What a Girl Wants, is so cute.
It's such a good role for him because I know he's used to more serious drama roles, and he's amazing in those too, but these are just so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sophie confesses everything to Sky, including the fact that all three of her dads want to give her away at the wedding. And Sky's upset because he thinks that she wanted this whole big wedding in order to find her father. And she doesn't deny this. She actually says that she wants to get married knowing who she is, and she needs to know about her father first in order to know who she is. And Sky says, you don't need to get to know your father. You need to get to know yourself.
Oof. So then Sophie asks Donna to help her get ready for the wedding, which is very cute because I think Donna thought that her friends were going to help her get ready. And they have the cutest, it's not even a montage, just like series of scenes where Donna is helping her get ready and she's singing Slipping Through My Fingers as she thinks about Sophie growing up. And Donna paints her toenails and she does her hair. And Sophie asks at the end, do you think I'm letting you down? And you can tell she's worried that because her mom is so independent, she might not support her getting married so young. But her mom says that she only did it alone because she had to, because once she got pregnant, she wasn't allowed to go home anymore, but that she wouldn't have had it any other way. And they just have this really beautiful moment together. And then Sophie asks her mom to give her away at the wedding.
When this part happened, I was like, thank goodness, Sophie. Like, you're realizing what's actually important here.
Mm-hmm.
And your mom has been supporting you and taking care of you your whole life. This is perfect. She should give you away.
Yep.
And then right before the wedding, Sam walks up to Donna and says he wants to give Sophie away because Sophie said she wants her father there. And Donna says, this is not the time. And she sings The Winner Takes It All as a way to tell him that she's still heartbroken over their breakup.
A couple of lines that I took away from this song are, somewhere deep inside, you must know that I miss you. And does she kiss you like the way I used to kiss you? And for a little bit of backstory of their story, which they do mention in this movie, so it isn't a spoiler, it's just pretty quick, so it's easier to miss. Sam and Dawn actually broke up after their summer romance, where the one where they had planned to open the hotel together, because she found out that he had a fiance at home. And this is like a really traumatic breakup for them that you see in Mamma Mia too. And so you can tell in this song that she's communicating to him, like, I am still so hurt that, like, you took away the future that I wanted with you, and I stayed here and I did it anyway. So you showing up here like doesn't give you claim to this girl or this wedding or me. But you can tell she still loves him.
I am really excited to see Mamma Mia too, because I hope it gives me a little more clarity around their relationship and their backstory, because honestly, just seeing the first one, I was like, okay, he fell in love with you, obviously hooked up with you, and he had a fiance waiting back home.
Not great.
Yeah, he didn't break things off with her or try to until after. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't paint a really good picture about him and his character to me. So I would like to be more Team Sam. So hopefully it's more nuanced than that. But I'll find out when I watch Mamma Mia too, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Then Donna runs up a stunning scenic hill to the Greek chapel where Sophie is getting married. It is stunning. It's just gorgeous. And the wedding starts, and Sophie and her mom walk down the aisle. And as the priest is talking and welcoming everyone, Donna says, "And welcome to Sophie's dad."
Just unhinged in this moment.
Yeah, because I think the priest is like, "And especially welcome to Donna, who's representing Sophie's family." And then she's like, "And welcome to Sophie's dad." And she looks at Sophie and says, "He's here." And as if this is some big revelation to Sophie. And Bill, Harry, and Sam all stand up. And Sophie goes, "I know, I invited them."
The fact that this conversation is happening at the altar of the wedding. And I just love the way that like Bill, Harry, and Sam, none of them are looking behind them. Like they're all still facing forward. And the three guys just stand up immediately from different parts of the stands. Is so funny.
I love also how casual this wedding is.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is just like, yeah, whatever. You know, this isn't the most important day of your life or anything.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think that's great to like not have this pressure, and it's so Sophie and Sky to have a chill wedding. So anyway, after Sophie says she invited them, Donna says, "How? I don't know which one it is." And then she freaks out because she realizes that Sophie invited all of them and knew all along. And Sophie says in front of the whole chapel, "I don't care if you slept with hundreds of men. You're my mom and I love you so much." And it just made me laugh because everyone in the chapel was like,
hundreds.
And she's like, "Well, I haven't slept with hundreds of men."
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so funny. So in this moment, Sam tells Donna that he really did love her and that he broke off his engagement and came right back to the island, but found out that she was already dating someone else, presumably Bill or Harry. And then Harry gets up and says he'd be proud to be 1/3 related to Sophie because he never thought he'd get that much of a child.
So cute.
Yeah. And he also tells Donna that she was the first and last girl he ever loved, and then makes eyes at a guy in the chapel. It's very cute.
Love it.
And then Sam tells Sophie that they can find out who's the real dad, but that he actually agrees with Harry that being 1/3 of Sophie's dad sounds pretty great. And Bill gets up and also agrees with them.
Then Sophie turns to Sky and says, "Let's not get married. You never wanted this anyway. Let's travel and see the world." And he says he loves her, and they kiss. So I love this acceptance that she has. Like, oh, I don't have to find out who my real dad is, and I know who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the back of the crowd, Sam says, "Why waste a good wedding? How about it, Sheridan? You're going to need someone to boss around on this island of yours." And he says he's a divorced man who's loved her for 21 years, and he's been trying to tell her how much he loves her since he got here. He gets down on one knee and sings, "I do, I do, I do, I do, I do."
Which is the name of the song, guys.
And she says, "I do," and they make out. And they're pronounced man and wife, and everyone cheers.
It's very cute. It's much cuter after you've seen the second movie and you see their backstory.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited for that. It's not often that a sequel can make the first movie seem even better and more enjoyable, so I like that.
Yeah. Then at the reception, Sam sings "When All Is Said and Done," and at one of the guest tables, Bill is sitting next to Rosie, and he makes a comment that marriage isn't for him because he's a lone wolf, which is the exact same thing that Rosie said to her friends at the beginning of the movie. So she leans over to him and whispers the song "Take a Chance on Me." It's so funny. And then she jumps up on a table and like bursts out into the full song, and she chases him around the reception until they finally kiss. As the crowd is singing along with them, the crack from earlier in the movie in the middle of the hotel courtyard explodes into a giant fountain, and everyone dances together in the water, and "Mamma Mia," the song, plays.
And also, every guy rips off their shirt. There's this part where Sophie and Skye kiss at the very end, and you just see Colin Firth dancing shirtless behind them, and it sent me. It was so funny.
I don't even remember that. I need to go back and watch.
You have to go back. It's so funny.
I read that they only had one take to get the fountain dancing scene right, and it was a success. They did it in one because they didn't want everybody to get wet and get their hair wet in the costumes and then have to redo it.
Oh my gosh, that is so much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they got it, though. Early the next morning, we see Sophie singing I Have a Dream, which is very similar to the first scene of the movie, and her dads walk her and Skye out to their boat to set sail for their adventure. And then during the credits, Donna and the Dynamos sing Dancing Queen. And that's the end.
Yay.
Yay, it was so cute.
It was so cute. It's such a good, like, lighthearted watch. This would be a great one to put on if you're, like, making dinner in the summer, to put this on in the background for, like, the music and the vibes. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you can definitely walk away from it and come back and you probably didn't miss anything because of all the music.
Mm-hmm. And again, I highly recommend the sequel, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which came out in 2018. And I feel like I've said this 100 times, but it's Donna's backstory of the summer that she got pregnant with Sophie and like her meeting all three of these guys when they're younger. And they're all played obviously by younger actors. And like her and her friends are also there. It's cute. It's very cute.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. And maybe it's because I just got engaged, so it's on the mind, but I just was so obsessed with the wedding in this movie and Amanda Seyfried's hair and just everything was so cute. I just loved it so much. The vibe of this movie was so good, so I have to see Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I feel like I'm going to love it the same way.
Yeah, you'll have to give an update and tell us what you think.
I will. Or we'll do an episode on it if you guys want it.
Yes, month of sequels.
We're really pushing for the month of sequels.
I'm going to keep pitching this.
I think maybe one person told us they like the second movie of something and that we have to watch it, but month of sequels, guys.
Hear me out. Legally Blonde 2, Father of the Bride 2, Mamma Mia 2. It can just be 3 weeks. Please.
Twilight New Moon.
Yeah.
Or High School Musical 2. I like that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could definitely do a whole month. We'd just lose our entire audience.
All right, we might have to scatter them. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. If you liked it, please consider leaving us a 5-star rating and a good review. And keep messaging us on Instagram. We love talking to you guys, hearing what you think about the episodes, hearing what movies you want us to cover. We write all of them down. And it's just fun. I feel like you guys get us. So I love talking to you guys.
Yeah, you are seriously the best, and we really appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye.